Okay, welcome everybody. This is the online statistics webinar for orientation. So the goal today is to just explain what you guys are going to all do in this class. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do any statistics. So this is not about learning any of the content for the course. This is about kind of figuring out what the expectations are, um, and when you're going to have to do them and how to do them and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to kind of show you what's going on. And again, I want to remind you that I'm always happy to answer any questions. You can pop them in the chat box if you have them. I also will stay online until there's no more questions after I stop the recording. So if there's something that you don't want to be recorded, you can talk later. But I'm always happy to answer any questions you might have. Okay, so let me let you know again, this is Stat C 1000, section 4 and 5, actually. So there's two sections, and then I might as well put them together. So the interesting thing is, I'm not sure if you know, but the number is new. Didn't used to be Stat C 1000. So if you have any experience with Lake Tahoe Community College, it used to be MAT 201. But the state has now gone to a common course numbering system. So every college now calls it Stat C 1000. So I think that works pretty well. That way, universities know what it is. They don't have to figure it out. So it's Stat C 1000. And again, I'm going to go through the syllabus, talk about the different assignments, show you what it might look like, and all kinds of stuff. This is elements of statistics and probability. So we do statistics and we do some probability. That's the whole point. I want to let you know this is a 5 unit course, and these are quarter units. I know some of you may not even be from Tahoe, and I'll let you know the chat box is private. That does not get recorded. So why don't you put in where you're from? Where are you logging in from? Is it Tahoe? Could be China for all we know. I've had people from all over the world. And put in the chat box so I get an idea. We all get an idea where y'all are. I'm seeing lots of answers. Haven't seen Tahoe yet, so you're all over the place. Ah, there's the Tahoe. Yeah, so a lot of different places. So, Santa Rosa Junior College. Actually, I taught at Sonoma State once. Just to let you know. So all kinds of different places. Okay, so again, you're from all over, and that's fine. This is an online class. Um, you never have to come to Tahoe, but I will tell you. And those of you who have, you'll probably agree that this is one of the prettiest places in all of America, maybe on Earth. I haven't traveled that much, but it is beautiful in Tahoe. But you're not required to come, but I do recommend coming just to enjoy the lake or go enjoy the skiing. It is wonderful here. So let you know this is Lake Tahoe Community College. There are three quarter system colleges of the California community colleges in California, and we're one of them. So I want to let you know that it's a 12-week class. Okay, so if you're used to semester, this is not semester. Okay. Yeah, it looks like some of you love Tahoe. No, I haven't heard it. I haven't seen anyone say, oh, Tahoe's ugly and terrible. Because it is beautiful. I live here for a reason. I love it. Okay. So it's a 5 unit class. That means, what's called the Carnegie system. You should be able to expect 3 times that for the amount of work to do each week. So 15 hours a week is what it's supposed to be. Okay. Some of you will do more, some of you less, but that's just what the Carnegie system is. Again, I'm your instructor. I'm Larry Green, and I have been teaching at Lake Tahoe Community College. This is my 30th year teaching here. So, again, I love it. And actually, nobody at the entire college of the full-time faculty in any subject has taught longer than I have. So I'm been there a long time, and I have no regrets. I love Tahoe. So I I went to UC San Diego for my undergrad and then got my PhD at UCLA. So that's kind of my background. I taught at Sonoma State as an adjunct for a couple of years before I got a full-time job here. So that's my background. I've also done a lot of statistics. So I have done a lot of statistical consulting for the Forest Service, for example, and for other agencies and groups, because stats is useful. One of the things you're going to learn is that I don't ever have to like work real hard to find a place that it could be used. Everything we do is useful, and we'll go through that throughout the course to see real world stuff. Okay. What I love about this class is that I can always find something in the news on whatever we're covering that day or that week because stats is used all over the place. So that's the good news. This isn't one of those, when am I going to use this? What a waste of time, which happens in some math classes, but not stats. I'm in my office right now. You can see my background, and this is the office phone number. I'm not in my office, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if I happen to be here, I can answer the phone. What I have found is that email is, since this is an online class, especially, that tends to work well. And when I'm home, I'm still, checking my email. So I check my email a lot. And I'll respond within 24 hours, sometimes within 20 minutes. I mean, I'm real quick on responding. I do want to let you know that I personally am an early to bed, early to rise person. So if you send me some question or whatever at 10 p.m. on any day, you're gonna have to wait till 5 in the morning before you hear anything back because I'll be asleep. I am human and I sleep, and I tend to sleep. I tend to sleep in I go to sleep early. So just let you know that. So there's a question that, do you have to do 5 pages of notes? Yeah, that's if you didn't watch the Zoom and didn't do which I'll get into a little bit, and didn't do the secret word quiz by Sunday. So the hope is that never happens. So, and the secret word quiz is really easy. You just type the word. Okay. And eventually you'll get the secret word today. So don't just go to sleep right now, by the way, because that secret word is important. And besides that, everything else we do is important in this class. Um, what I recommend, I'm on the Canvas web page, is you go to Canvas, and I would bookmark that Canvas page. You don't want to have to go through the college every time. You just want to jump right to the Canvas page. One thing is the Canvas web page almost never shuts down. Um, Whereas our college once in a while does, especially in winter quarter, but once in a while late fall because of snow. But you may not know it, but Canvas actually is hosted by Amazon. So Amazon doesn't shut down. Okay, at least it was a long time ago. I think it still is. So just let you know it really works. Okay. So I want to let you know if you have any questions, let me know. And I'll be happy to, answer. I'm reading. I always have one eye on the chat box and one eye on what I'm showing you. So just let you know. So if you have questions, one of the main reasons why you want to attend live is so you can ask questions and I can answer it pretty much immediately. Whereas if you're watching it on YouTube, you can ask YouTube all the questions you want, but I'm not answering. It's YouTube. Just let you know that. You'll notice on the next one, it says live lectures and student hours login information. Those of you who are live, you are already there, and this gives you the link basically. So this gives you a link to the webinar. My webinars and my office hours have the same link, um, and it's the same as there is. So that's the same one shot to get into the webinar and the office hours. Just let you know that. Um, So should we email you with a student email or personal? If you want to use my email, if you send me to my if you send your own, hey, as long as I get your email, I'll send you an email back. I don't care. But if you want to use your student, that's fine too. So whatever works for you for sending an email. That's what I recommend. One thing I do recommend for you, just like I do, what I do is I take the emails that get sent to my college email and have them forwarded to my personal email, and that way I only have to click on one email. I do recommend that if you tend not to look at your college email much at all, then have it forwarded to your personal email. Okay. And that way you'll be able to see it because you're going to be getting a lot of, I send a lot of announcements. Okay. Let you know when there's some kind of thing due. Let me introduce Beth Marinelli Laster. You're on mute, by the way. And she is main person for student accessibility services, and she's going to talk to you about that.
Hi, everybody. My name's Beth, and my husband just got home from the grocery store, so I'm going to make it quick. I am with Student Accessibility Services at Lake Tahoe Community College, and I just posted the link. You can find me and Gail, who was our SAS director. What we do at SAS is for any student with any type of disability, whether it's a learning disability, attention deficit disorder, a physical disability, anything like that. We help students to make sure that all of the classrooms and material are fully accessible for you. And that might include extra time on exams for some students. For other students, it might include some software to um, read your work out loud to you. Anything, whatever you need. We kind of look at what type of disability you have and how we can help you. So if you've ever had an IEP or a 504 plan in high school, you could just um, pass that along to me and we can set you up with accommodations right away. If you've never been diagnosed with any type of disability, we do assessments for learning disabilities and attention deficit disorder. So those are in case you think you might have a learning disability or ADHD, we can certainly put you through assessments. Again, if you live in Tahoe, but even if you don't live in Tahoe, your local community college might be able to assess you. Anyway, so I just posted the link there. I just wanted to say hi and feel free to click on that link and find out more about us. And we'd love to hear from anyone that we might be able to help. So
Great.
thank you, Larry, for having me today.
Great. And if you have any questions about it, this is a great time. Just let you know, I can't read your mind, so if you need some kind of accommodations for accessibility, please reach out. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
won't know. You talk
Yep,
to
let
them, they're
Larry
the expert.
know. He's great and happy to he's always just super helpful with all of us here at SAS. So
Yeah, whatever they ask, I'll make sure it happens.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good class.
Thanks, Beth. Okay, so there was a question, are you going to be able to work ahead on assignments? Um, or are they locked for a set date? I don't have all the assignments open for the entire quarter because honestly, then some people just use AI to do everything at once, and I don't want you to do that. Um, but so they're open a little ahead. So you do have some time. Does that make sense? But not like 6 weeks ahead. So hopefully that works for you. And if for some reason you need an extra week early, then let me know, but that usually doesn't happen. How long are the meetings when we cover the chapters? That's a good question. Usually around an hour and a half, plus or minus 15 minutes. The webinar is usually around an hour. I'm sorry, the orientation this today is usually about an hour, but the webinars for the material is about an hour and a half-ish. You know, not exactly 90 minutes, but not far from it. I do my best. It depends how many questions there are, of course, too. If there's more questions, they last a little longer. If there's fewer, they last a little shorter. How often do we meet? We meet once a week, except this week because we have orientation and content. So this week we're meeting today and tomorrow, and then all the rest of the weeks up until the through the 11th week, we meet once a week, and it's either Mondays or Tuesdays. I like to do towards the beginning of the week, but I try not to do it exactly the same day because that could zap someone who can't ever make it on a Monday or can't ever make it on a Tuesday. We don't meet week 12 because at that point you probably may have already finished the class. So we meet through week 11, if that makes sense. Good questions, very good questions. And that's the whole point of this orientation is to be able to answer all your questions as we go. Okay. What time? 6 o'clock. Always 6 o'clock. I used to do different times, but what I've learned is everyone knows, when I make it 6 o'clock, I get a whole lot more people coming than when I make it, say, at noon. So I always make it at 6 o'clock because that seems to work with most people. I do send announcements. So there's a few ways of finding it. One is the announcements that gets sent out like a week before and then an hour before. But I also it's all written in the modules, which I'll show you in a little bit. Okay. So let me continue on what I was talking about. See archive webinars, there's no link. Any guess on why there's no link to the archive webinars? It should be obvious. Yeah, it's archived. We haven't had a webinar yet. So what'll happen is at the end of this webinar, then I'll go on YouTube, I'll upload it, which could take, half an hour to an hour sometimes. And then I'll create a playlist on YouTube, and then I'll post that playlist on this number 4, and there'll be a link. So that's what I'll be doing. There's nothing archived yet because we haven't done anything yet. So I'll just let you know. Um, Next is full-length YouTube lectures. When COVID happened for my face-to-face classes, which we couldn't use face-to-face anymore, we went to Synchronous Complete. So I have very long webinars for each chapter if you're interested in that I gave. Oh, that's number 6. Sorry. Number 5 I have, let me click on that one. These are full-length YouTube lectures. And this is YouTube. And this is a playlist. You'll notice there are 13 videos. Any guess on why there's 13 videos? Any guess? It's not a trick question, but no, there's only 12 weeks in the class. Good try. About 13 weeks. Yeah, 13 chapters. There's 13 chapters. So I created a video per chapter. And you can watch these and, kind of they're in the order of which chapters go. So that's that one. And then these lectures from the Eve class, those are the long lectures that I gave when I wasn't able to have face-to-face class and it became synchronous online. I also have videos of worked out problems. Those mostly you'll use when you're doing the assignments. And I have videos to help you out with those topics. Interactive statistics. These are one of the things about me. I'm a computer programmer, and I've created all kinds of interactive activities for what we're doing in the class. And you can see there's a lot of them. 57 of them already or so. Some are duplicates, but there's a lot. So I'm a programmer, and this is used. And by the way, this is all open. It's all online. This is called LibreText. Libre means free, so free stuff. And so you don't have to, pay for a subscription or anything like that. I want to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay. Also, I'm a programmer. I'm always trying to be on top of things when it comes to new stuff. And hopefully you all know what's the big new thing in the last couple years. I don't think jumping in. AI. So what I did is if you click on this one, this will send you to chatbot. Actually, this one's a different one. This one sends you to chat about, yeah, it's different than the one I was thinking about. This one sends you chat about the statistics. And then there's another chatbot. This one I created. The other one sends you to one that someone else created. This one I created. This one answers anything you have about the syllabus or the class. So if I hit start, Welcome to the Classroom Helper. Are you ready to get started? Well, that one's kind of obvious, yes. And here comes the chatbot. Great, I'm here to help you with questions about your elementary statistics. See Stat C1000 course at Lake Tahoe Community College. All the things they can. What questions do you have? What questions do you have that you want the chatbot to answer about the class? See if you can pop a question in. I don't see you jumping in. Maybe you have no questions. Something that, yeah, maybe something you want to know about the class that might be in the syllabus, might not. I don't see y'all jumping in. What are the projects in this course? Okay. So what are the projects in this course? And here it is. Project one. There's two major projects in the course. Project one, due by October 19th, 2025. Project focuses on descriptive statistics and data visualization. You collect quantitative data and analyze it using various statistical methods. You must use either simple random sampling, stratified sampling, or cluster sampling. Required elements include description of the sampling technique and potential bias, charts, histograms, stem and leaf, box plot, box and whiskers, summary statistics with interpretations, mean, median, standard deviation, analysis of findings with recommendations. Sample size must be greater than 30. Kind of cool. Okay, and then there's project two also. I'm not going to read it all because we're going to look at that again. And how many tests are there? Do we have? Sorry, is what you asked. Regular exams. According to the syllabus, you'll have several exams through the course. Week 2, week 4, week 6, week 8, and week 10, and the final exam. Then it tells you all about the exams. Kind of cool. So just to let you know, I was on the national cohort study for using AI for this. So pretty cool. And that happened in the spring. So now I can put these in my classes. So I believe in using it for things like this. I'm going to mention what you shouldn't use it for, but that's the kind of thing you can definitely use it for. And the chatbot can answer and answers it. I've never seen an answer wrong. I've tried, and it always gives the right answer. That's the good news for questions about the syllabus. Okay. I'm not going to read all this, but this is a stats course. It does all the stats stuff. The grade will be, I like to make it what you're used to. So I do a 90, 80, 70, 60 scale for A, B, C, and D. Okay. So that's the grade. In terms of the percents that you're going to get on stuff, it's 10% of all the big stuff. So all your assignments combined are 10% of the grade. All the discussion posts are 10% of the grade. You have exams, okay, which the chat just showed you what the exams were. Each exam is 10%. So that's a lot of the grade, by the way, because there's a lot of exams. The project one is 10% and project two is 10%. Any questions on that? So it's very simple math, and the Canvas will actually tell you what you're on track to get. Okay, so exam policy. Students will be taking the exams online. So I do want to let you know everything required in this course is online. Honestly, I don't recommend it, but if you wanted to stay in bed 24 hours a day for 7 days a week, and you had a computer in your bed, you can you can make it through this class. You'd probably go crazy, but not because of our class, just staying in bed all day long. But the point is, you never have to do anything other than be at your computer and do work. Okay? So, um, everything is online. Okay. So grading of the written questions will be based on progress towards the final answer. Okay. Demonstration of understanding the concept being tested. Therefore, work must be shown in detail. Make sure you show your work. And by the way, I want to let you know, again, I'm an expert in AI. I can tell if you use AI, I'm going to be very harsh on grading. Do not use AI to do your work. You can use AI to learn, but not to do your work. Does that make sense? So don't just ask ChatGPT to answer this question for you, because it won't go well for you. Because I'll make sure I'm mean on the grading. But if you actually learn the stuff and do your work, then you'll do great. Okay. Assignments are due at 11:59 p.m. on Sundays, but it's recommend that you complete your work by Friday night. Okay, don't wait till the last minute. Okay. Assignments may be taken as many times as you want. Okay, before 11:55 p.m. on Sunday until you're satisfied with your score. Okay, so you're allowed to keep trying over and over again until you get it, until you figure it out. Okay, I only give time extensions if they're requested by the Friday before they're due. So if you wait until Saturday to start and then you need extra time, you won't get extra time. Okay, if you realize on Friday you're gonna need extra time and send me an email, I'll give you extra time. Okay, and it's always yes, usually a few days of extra time. So that's kind of the rules of the class. Okay. For the regular assignments, there's no time limit. Okay. You just have to finish before the deadline. And for the regular assignments, the computer is AI and it completely grades for you. Okay. It will grade. I don't know if you call that AI, but it does the grading. Okay. There are discussion posts. Let's see your chat box. Put a yes if you have taken a online course before, and no if you haven't. I just want to see, where we all are. All right. At least those are here. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so the good news is since everyone's saying yes, you've all seen discussion posts. I think every online class has it. Well, we got two that say no. So,
Shush.
sure.
Thank you.
So, you've all seen the discussion posts, except for the couple that said no to the online, but I'll show you what they look like. So you're going to be asked to post a discussion board and reply to a student's post. The initial post must be posted on Thursday or earlier, and I want to let you know it doesn't show that on your campus calendar. What I do though is on Thursday morning at I think 8 in the morning or so, I give you a reminder via an announcement to say, hey, don't forget. Okay. So that's just a note. Don't wait till after Thursday because you'll lose points if you post it after Thursday. And I take a lot of points if you post it Sunday night because that's too late for anyone to answer. So make sure the initial one is posted by Thursday or earlier. Okay. And I do want to let you know if you post it by Wednesday, then I will look at it, and if your initial post and if your initial post needs some adjustments or doesn't work, I'll let you know. I'll reply to it. And one nice thing is you can look at how I replied to other people's to know what to be careful about. Okay, so for example, somebody already posted on the week one um, the week one statistics discussion, and there was something that needed to be fixed, and I let that person know. Okay, so you can look at that and see that as long as it's your section. You can only look at your own section's posts. There's all kinds of laws about that. Okay. Question when are replies due? The replies have to be done by Sunday night, but I recommend by Friday night. That way, that you don't wait till last minute. Because if you lose internet and it's Sunday night, it's too late. I do not give extra time or extensions for discussions because those are conversations. So that's the one thing you can't get extra time for. So make sure you do have those done. Okay. Okay, so that is really important. Don't other than what's called the the two truths, one untruth, other than that fun one, um, don't, and the very last one actually, the last week's one, um, don't reply to a post that's already been replied to. Make sure you reply to one that hasn't been replied to yet. And that's another reason to reply earlier. That way you can find one that's easy to reply to. Because sometimes people post something and it doesn't work. So again, if you go a little early, then you have better chances. Just let you know that. Okay. So those are the discussion posts. I'll show you what they look like in a little while. We'll get into that later. Okay. I have a rubric. I'll let you read it. Live webinars, we're in one now. So as I mentioned, they come up every week, except for the very last week, and two this week because we have the orientation and then a statistics one. And it's not okay to miss them. It's a disaster if you miss them. Someone asked, what do you do if everyone has a reply? Does that happen? Um, it almost pretty much, if you wait till Sunday night, that might happen. Don't wait till Sunday night. That's the key. If you look on Friday and then look again on Saturday, you'll find one to answer. That never happens. But Sunday night it could happen. So don't wait till Sunday night. And honestly, I don't encourage you not to reply, but there's usually a few people that don't do the work and don't reply, and then there's always a couple out there. Just let you know that. That's why it never happens. But some are better than others to reply to. Also, I always post a example post and I reply to my own. So a few things, don't reply to your own. You're not allowed to do that. And the other is don't reply to mine either. Except for the two truths, one untruth, that you can apply to everyone's. That's a whole different thing. But for the statistics one, don't reply to mine because I've already applied to it. I've already done the work. Okay. All right. But good questions, really good questions. Okay, there are two projects. Okay, there are two projects, Project 1 and Project 2. It's not quite time to get into the details yet because we haven't learned the statistics. You haven't learned the statistics yet, and the projects involve statistics. So you got to for Project 1, you'll be able to start pretty early, but not right now. We haven't done any stats in this class yet, so that'll at least happen by maybe the end of the week or two, and then you'll start thinking about it. But the main thing that you can think about. Oh, I just forgot to mention, I want to emphasize for for every missed webinar, if you don't do it by Sunday, then you have to watch it and write detailed notes, at least 5 pages. Email me your notes and I'll give you the credit. If you don't, you lose 5% on your course grade per webinar missed, which is a disaster. So don't miss the webinars. Got it? Okay. Watching on YouTube is fine, but don't wait until after that Sunday. Okay. I would even not wait till after the Friday, but that's really important. For the projects, you need partners. I strongly recommend 3 partners. So I want to just show you something. If I go to the discussion board, you'll notice in the pinned discussions, I have a Q&A forum, and that's when you can ask questions about kind of anything about statistics or about the class. If it's if it's very personal, you don't want to post it, then you can send me an email, but only send me an email if it's personal. So, if it's about somebody died in your family, you don't want to say anything, but to everyone else, that's okay. But if it's just a question about statistics, then use the Q&A forum, unless it's a question about the project, and then use the Project 1 forum for Project 1. And there is a Project 2, but that's not up yet. Okay, it's way down at the bottom, but I put it up after Project 1's over. Okay. Discussion post. Yeah, discussion post is every week, except there's 2 this week. Yeah, so there's 2 this week, but otherwise, yeah, you have every week you have a discussion. Just note if you click on Project 1 discussion board, there's no one's put anything up here, but here's what I strongly recommend you do tonight or tomorrow. That is, I would hit reply, and I'm going to write, I am looking for 2 partners for the project. I would like to get started early. That way you're saying, I don't want procrastinators. And then I'm not going to do it because I'm not looking for partners. Then you hit reply. I'm going to cancel because I don't need a partner because I'm the instructor. But then if someone has already done that, you can reply and say, I'd like to be a partner. And then you can go to Canvas and you can actually communicate with each other that way. That makes sense? So don't wait. There's no reason to wait days and days and days for that. You might as well do that, within a day or two, and get your partners. I strongly recommend 3 partners. So a group of 3. You're allowed to have either 2 or 3. And the reason why 3 is better is that if somebody drops a class and there's 3 of you, now you still have 2 and you're not screwed. Does that make sense? If there's 2 of you and your partner drops, you're screwed. Okay. And by the way, if you submit your project and you didn't have a partner or partners, you have a 30% penalty incurred. And which means it can't be a passing grade, basically. Okay, because 100% minus 30% is 70%. You'd have to get 100% of everything to pass. And that's still a very low C. So get partners. It's an absolute necessary. Any questions on that? Okay. Do not use AI to write your project. I can tell it's not going to use the wording we use in class. It's going to do things that are beyond what we do. It's really obvious if you use AI. So do not use AI for your project. Okay, that is not something you do. Okay, talk to each other, work together. Um, Also, what I recommend is if you can submit it to me before it's due, at least by the Thursday before it's due, but even better would be like the Monday before it's due. And you give me your draft, just your rough draft. Then I'll look at it and let you know what needs to be changed so that you can not get zapped on points. Does that make sense? If you don't give me a rough draft, and you just submit on, when the project's due, then I look at it, and then if there's things that you get zapped on points, you get zapped on points. It's too late. Okay. Does that make sense? So I strongly recommend submitting your draft to me. And if you do it by Thursday at say 7:59 a.m., then it may take a while for me to read it. Because if I get 15 projects to read, then 15 times 10 is 150 pages. That's not going to happen in a couple hours. Does that make sense? So it might be a couple days before I get back to you, and then you don't have time to do it. So that's why I read them on a first sent, first read basis. So if you send it on that Monday before it's due, instead of the Thursday, then you'll hear back to me pretty quickly. That make sense? Okay. And when you submit your final project, when it's due, then only one of you needs to submit it. Make sure you have all of your names on it so that you all get credit. But only one has to submit it. And it's submitted into Canvas. It's not emailed to me. The regular project that you want graded, that gets put into the Canvas project 1 assignment, and you upload it. Okay. And next week, I'll be going over the details of the project. But right now it's too early because we haven't done the stats. So next week I'll do a lot more. Any questions so far? Okay. So diversity and inclusion, don't forget, even though, and this happens a lot with online, just because all you see is a name does not mean these aren't people. Okay. Make sure you treat everybody with respect. whatever their gender or race or whatever, and you work with each other as adults and and make sure you respect each other, even if you never see each other. Um, you're still all people, and I'll do my best also to treat you all with respect. Okay, so that is important. I'll let you read more details if you want, but that's the main thing. There is a link in case you want to give me anonymous feedback. You can also just give me feedback, and I would never zap you on points or anything because you gave me feedback. But if you wanted to make it anonymous, you can. Just let you know in this class, if you need to withdraw from the class and you don't want a record, September 27th is the last day to do that. I don't choose this. This is the college. And the last day to drop without a W grade is November 1st. Okay, so that's the stuff. Title IX information, I'll let you look at that. Okay, so then there are my student hours. Some people call them office hours, but our college usually calls them student hours now. And I will let you know I have them online and I have them in my office. I know most of you are not in Tahoe, so you'll probably never come to my office, but if you want to come to my office, you can. But I'm online and Monday, Wednesday from 1 to 2:30, Tuesday from 3 to Thursday from 3 to 4, and Friday from 1:30 to 2:30. Okay, and I do want to let you know, I guess I should tell you that if you come at like say Monday at 2:25 or something, it might be too late because I actually teach at 2:30. So sometimes I scoot out a few minutes early just so I get there. I teach pretty close to where my office is, but I still have to get there. And I'm always happy to help and answer questions. And I can help you with whatever I'll do my best in helping with what you need. So I'm around. Okay, I'm around a lot. If you can't make these office hours, but you still want to, chat with me for some reason, um, I have other hours I could do. There's some I can never do. For example, 2:30 to 4, I'm teaching a face-to-face class, so that'll never work on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So there are sometimes I can't do. And again, after 9 p.m., I'm asleep, so don't even ask for that. I'll be too tired to help you anyway. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, always happy to help. I want to help you out. I also, after the webinar, I always make sure that I'm available for questions if you have questions right after the webinar. Okay, just stay. And again, the Zoom is the same whether it's office hours or webinar. I use one Zoom. Okay. Um, there is this class, you cannot do statistics without using a calculator. It just would be brutal. When I first taught this, this was like before people had even heard that word called the internet. And there weren't statistics calculators. You don't know how brutal this class was. The good news is we've got it, but there's even better news. It's free. Okay. I will let you know there is nothing in this class that you have to pay for, other than some of you may have had to pay to, register, but you the the calculator is free, the textbook is free, the homework system is free. Um, I am actually that is kind of my big mission for a long time, and in fact, I am actually the statewide leader for mathematics and statistics for free materials for any course at the entire community college system for all 115 or so community colleges. So I don't know about you all, but when I was a college student, I was really poor. It was so hard to buy books, and I don't want to make that a problem. Okay. And even if you don't have a computer, you can even get a computer from our college and check it out for the entire quarter. And it's a cheap one, but they'll let you check out a computer. Even that's free. But you have to come to Tahoe to pick it up. So if you live far away, that could be hard. But just let you know, even that's free. Okay. Internet at our college is free, but where you live, that's an absolute requirement. If you have no internet access, this cannot work for you. So this is an online class, so you have to have internet. But again, if you can get to our college all the time, we always have internet here. So that's a good thing. So there's no cost in anything. I will let you know there are two calculators for this class, and they're both important and required. This LibreText calculator is what you're going to be using for the exams and for the assignments, regular assignments. Okay, and probably for the discussion posts. And if I click on that, and this takes you to the calculator. And as I mentioned, I think I mentioned, I'm a really big computer programmer. So I have coded all of these calculators. And it's used by a lot of people, not just our classes. So I made sure you'll notice that there are 26 different links of with the calculators, and they're in order at which we do things in this class. So, for example, tomorrow in the webinar, we'll be talking about random numbers, and we'll be talking about one variable statistics. We'll be talking about bar charts and pie charts, and z-score statistics from a frequency table, and that'll be the first week. Okay, the second week, we're going to do the next stuff, and that's kind of how it's going to go. So I made sure the calculator is created in order at which we do things in our class. Any questions on that? I'll show you what it looks like tomorrow night, because then we're actually going to do statistics. Today, we're not doing any statistics. Yeah, so these, basically, I created a link for each thing we do in stats. So that's what I did. You can call it one calculator, you can call it 25 or 26 calculators. That's your choice, how you want to call it. That makes sense. Okay, so that's the calculator. Then there's another calculator, and this one is used for the projects. And this I coded a long time ago. This is Google Sheets, which is free. Again, everything's free. And you'll use this for the projects. This one can also be used for like stuff that you can do after you take this class, because this one is not just for homework problems, but this is a full spreadsheet where you can put in the hundreds and hundreds of data values. Whereas the one for all the assignments, you're never going to type in hundreds of data values because that would be a waste of your time. But sometimes in the real world, you need to. Does that make sense? But for the project, you have to use this one. And just to let you know a couple things. One is it's an absolute requirement to use this spreadsheet for project one and this spreadsheet, but you're going to click on this 2VeriStats for project two. Again, you're not supposed to understand it yet, but that'll happen as we go. And the very first thing you're going to have to do, I'll show you this again when we get into the project, is you have to go to File, you have to go to Make a Copy, give it a name, and hit Make a Copy. Okay? I don't need a copy, so I don't need it. But you're going to need it so that you can type in your stuff in there. Okay? I think you might need a Google account, but that's all free too. So if you log into your Google account, then you're in. Okay. So those are the calculators for this class. Again, very important to be able to do all that stuff. If you have a learning disability, we already talked about that. Beth is wonderful, and there's good people to talk to, and they'll help you out. We have tutoring. So there is tutoring online with LTCC Cranium Cafe. I'll let you read through that and see how that works. You could also go to our library, but for some of you, getting to Tahoe is really hard. But we have a lot of online tutoring that you can set up an appointment and they'll help you out. Okay. We even have an embedded tutor, Corinne, but I think she didn't log in today. I'll get her to log in eventually. I didn't see her today, so I couldn't tell her. I emailed, but I didn't see her. Yeah, she's not here. But an embedded tutor who actually is going to be following everything we do in detail in our specific day classes. Okay. There's a library, and I will show you later what day of the week are we meeting. So it's once a week, and sometimes it's Mondays, sometimes it's Tuesdays, except this week it's Monday and Tuesday. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So there's a library information. Then there's information on how to get help with Canvas if you get stuck and need help with Canvas. A word on honestly, don't cheat. Don't use AI to just do your work. That would be bad. You can use AI to learn, but not to do your work. Okay. And I'm an AI, I've done AI programming. I can tell. Okay. I know how it is. Okay. Just let you know. And I've been lots and lots of stuff with it. So don't use AI. It's important to learn statistics. That's important. Any questions on that? Okay, something I think I want to do right now, even though we're not done yet, I like to do it sometime towards the end, but not at the very end. This takes time. The secret word is learn. Very important to learn in this class. Okay, don't just use AI to do all your work without learning. Okay, that'll be bad. Um, so that's the secret word. Write it down right now so you don't forget it, because this is the last time we're going to say it. Um, So just to clarify, you have to use Google and LibreText calculators for project one. You use the Google calculator. For everything else, you use LibreText calculators. That makes sense? And project two actually. So project one, the projects is the the Google Sheets calculator, and everything else is easier to use the LibreText calculator. So that's the answer to that. Okay, so you all have a secret word. Hopefully you're paying attention. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, let me make that fit. Let's go to the modules. Okay, so if I click on modules, and next week, by the way, this will be the home page. What I do is week one, the home page is the syllabus, and then after week one, the home page is the modules. Oh, this is still there. Just a minute. How do I get rid of this? There, now you can't read it. Okay, so after we're going to go to the modules. Yes, you got the orientation secret word quiz correct. Okay, so just let you know, if you click on course information, that pretty much gives you all the stuff I showed you in the syllabus. Okay, it's just another way of getting there. That makes sense? But then if you go to the week we're in week one, then this is going to give you all kinds of different things. So it's going to give you survey design, sampling charts, and statistics. This is a little introduction. I made this a long time ago. Probably look a lot younger and the college looks different. But not stats hasn't changed much. So just let you know. And this gives you a link to the Zoom. Right now it says you can watch the recorded webinar here and it's blank. Why is it blank? This should be obvious. Yeah, we're still live. The webinar hasn't been recorded yet. How could I do it? So what I'm going to do is tonight, it might take an hour. And then once it's recorded and popped on Zoom, then I'll put the link right here. So you'll be able to get there. Does that make sense? So if I go back to the modules, okay. And then there's a webinar on chapter 1 and 2, and also right now there's a Zoom link, but nothing else because we haven't had the webinar yet. Then in the content, I have the student learning outcomes for week 1. And here's what we're doing for week 1. I'll let you read it. And then the next piece of the module is the textbook. Okay, let me go back to the module so you can see it. How do I get rid of this? It's got to be a way. Layout, annotate. Let's try. Sorry about that. I'm not seeing an eraser. If I click on annotate. Ah, there it is. Found it. That didn't work. Let's one more time. Sorry about this. One more try. It's in here somewhere. What a pain. Sorry about this. That's good enough. All right, done with annotate. Okay. So then if we look at more stuff, these are chapter 1 and chapter 2. I showed you what they looked like. I have the full length videos. So remember I showed you on the syllabus how you can find those full length videos. I put the videos that are important for this particular week right there. And short videos also, so there's a lot of videos. And then chapter 1 and chapter 2 PowerPoint. The videos are voiceover PowerPoint, so I also show you the PowerPoint in case you want it. Most people don't look at that though. Okay, so then there are your assignments. There's the secret word quiz. Oh, you know what? I better let me do this. Let me view a student so it'll look like the way you want to see it or the way you'll see it. There we go. Okay, let me see. Orientation secret word quiz. And I begin. You might have forgot a capital. Make sure it's the secret word, the orientation secret word kit quiz. Yeah, make sure it's the orientation secret word quiz and not the just the regular week 1 content secret word quiz. So there's a couple things that could happen. That's the most likely one. I think the capital doesn't matter actually. So you put in your answer and hit submit. I don't need to do that. Let's go back to modules. Similar, there is a week 1 secret word quiz. Yeah, cat. I didn't think the cat mattered. My guess is you clicked on week 1 secret word quiz instead of orientation secret word quiz. Those are different. And the week 1 secret word quiz will be the secret word for tomorrow. Tomorrow's secret word, not today's. Just let you know that. Then there are 2 discussion post assignments. Now I'm going to leave seat student view so that I can see it better. So the discussion post assignments, And that's these guys. So for example, if you go to survey design, do 2018. Huh. It's working for everybody else. So that might want to hang out with me after it's over and then we can see it what's up. So this is a the discussion post. Again, you're not ready yet because you haven't seen tomorrow's webinar, but you'll have to do this and you can see my reply by hitting one reply and you'll see my reply. So what I do is I make sure there's a model post. Don't just copy and paste mine though, but you can use it for an idea of what's expected. Does that make sense? And I'm not going to go through all of it, but that's the idea. What you're going to do is you're going to post yours. Just a note, especially if you're new to Canvas, if you're posting a link and you paste the link, hit the space bar after, and then it'll show up blue. And it'll be easier for classmates to then they can click on it. If you don't hit the space bar after, then they're not going to be able to click on the link. So that's just a note that I've noticed about Canvas. Any questions on that? So if you're ever copying and pasting a link like you do for this one, make sure that it shows as a link. What I strongly recommend is look at the instructions and make sure that the link that you're posting or whatever you have to post for your initial post can be answered. If you have no idea how it would be answered correctly in terms of what it asked for, then it probably isn't going to be any good. Does that make sense? So make sure that, what's asked is really what you put and somebody can answer what it's asking for. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me go back to modules. Okay, then there's a chapter 1 and a chapter 2 assignment. I'll just go to chapter 2, for example. And this gives you questions. Again, we haven't talked about the statistics yet, so you're not quite ready yet. But you answer the questions. Some are you put in a number, some you put in some words, some it's multiple choice, all kinds of different types. Any questions on that? I strongly recommend, learning this stuff instead of just using AI because there's a lot of things that won't go well. Most important, you won't learn. And then you won't be able to use stats for like the rest of your life because you won't know it. So that's really important. Okay, any questions on what these are? I do want to let you know, I'll go back to the modules. Week 1, there's no exam. Week 2, there's an exam. See week 2 exam? The exam is a 90-minute exam. Okay, unlike the assignments, the exams are timed. Once you start it, you have 90 minutes to finish. So make sure that you can do it. What I do is I take the homework, the prior homeworks, and randomize questions basically that won't be the same exact things as your homework because your homework is all randomized and it randomly picks some of those questions. You'll notice week 3, there is no exam. Week 4, there's an exam. Week 4 exam. Week 5, there's no exam. Week 6, there's an exam. Anyone see the pattern? A little bit of basic math? Every other week. And not just every other week, but the even weeks. So the even weeks of this course have exams. So that's just what you know. How many questions are there? Usually a little less than 20. They're not all exactly the same number of questions. The last few questions are written questions at which I hand computer grade, whereas the rest of the questions are literally copied and pasted from the homeworks. Okay, but they won't look exactly the same. And like by the time you get to week, your week 12 exam, which is a comprehensive final, it's it might have like two questions from the first week, a couple questions from the second week. Do you see how that works? A couple from the third week. So it won't be it's out of like 1,000 different questions, it grabs 20 of them. So just let you know how that works. And all the numbers are randomized too. So knowing the answer to a question isn't going to help you at all if you don't understand how the answer happened. Does that make sense? Also, in the webinars, not today, but in other webinars, I'm going to give you certain words you have to use. And what that does is it makes it so if you use AI, it's not going to use those words. And then I zap you point wise. So make sure you take notes whenever I say these words need to be used. So that when you take the exam, you use those words. And also discussion assignments, you have to use those words. Okay. So that's pretty much what this course is all about. Our exams open note? Yeah, because you're online and I'm not there with you. So they're open note. So definitely for that. But if you spend a lot of time reading all your notes, you won't be able to finish in time. So make sure you learn it too. You don't have to, I would recommend having a list of formulas that you have used in the homework and write them down and have a little page of that. Does that make sense? Okay, but there aren't too many formulas you need to know because the calculator does most of that. But we're not ready to see that yet because we haven't had the class yet. You know what I mean? So the details we're not there yet. So that is pretty much all the basics for what the course is all about. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stop the recording. Thank you for all watching this.